Nathan dropped to his knees in the freezing cold. Two small bodies, lips turning blue, eyes closed. He touched the girl's shoulder. Her eyes flew open with pure animal terror. Her mouth moved. No sound. Her tiny hands shook violently, signing words no one had understood for 16 hours. "Help us, please, no one can hear us." Nathan's heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. He raised his hands slowly. In clear sign language he signed, "Don't cry. I'm here now. You're safe." The girl stared at him like he had just spoken light into her darkness. Before we continue this incredible story, please subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. This story will change how you see kindness and family forever. Watch until the very end, you won't regret it. Comment below the city you're watching from. I love seeing how far these stories travel. Now let's go back to where it all began. Nathan Brooks woke up screaming his wife's name. "Sarah, Sarah." His hands reached into empty darkness, grabbing nothing but cold sheets and phantom smoke. His chest heaved, sweat poured down his face. His heart slammed against his ribs like it was trying to escape. There was no fire. There was no smoke. Just the gray December morning and the memories that refused to die. Nathan pressed his palm against his chest and forced air into his lungs. "Just a dream," he whispered. "Just a dream." But it was never just a dream. It was the night his wife Sarah died in flames. The night his unborn son died before he could take his first breath. The night his 8-year-old daughter Emma screamed so loud that her voice broke, and then she never spoke again. 2 years. It had been 2 years since that drunk driver ran the red light. Nathan threw off the covers and walked to the kitchen. Emma was already there. She sat at the small table with her notebook open, her dark hair falling across her face. She looked up when he entered. Her eyes, too old for an 8-year-old, too wise, too wounded, softened when she saw him. Her hands moved gracefully. "Good morning, Daddy." Nathan's throat tightened. He signed back, then bent down to kiss the top of her head. "Good morning, sweetheart. How long have you been up?" "A little while. I couldn't sleep. Bad dreams." Emma nodded. She turned her notebook around to show him. Nathan's breath caught. It was a drawing of 4 stick figures holding hands. 2 of them, a woman and a tiny baby, had wings sprouting from their backs. The other 2 stood on the ground waving up at the sky. "That's Mommy and baby brother," Emma signed. "They're watching us from heaven. That's you and me. We're waving at them." Nathan felt his eyes burn. He pulled Emma into a hug and held on longer than usual. He could feel her small heart beating against his chest. This child, this precious wounded child, she was all he had left. "They see us," he said, signing against her back. "They always see us." Emma pulled back and looked at him with those impossible eyes. "Daddy, can we go to the park today? It's freezing outside, sweetheart. Please, I want to collect pine cones." Her hands moved faster, more excited. "Mommy loved pine cones. Remember?" Nathan couldn't say no. He never could when she mentioned Sarah. "Okay, but you're wearing 2 jackets." Emma grinned that rare, precious smile that looked exactly like her mother's. "Deal." They arrived at Riverside Park just after noon. Nathan watched Emma bound toward the playground, her red scarf trailing behind her like a flame. Sarah had knitted that scarf. It was the last thing she ever made. He settled onto a bench and let himself breathe. The park was almost empty. Too cold for most families. Too gray for anyone without a reason to be outside. But Nathan had a reason. He had Emma. And Emma needed fresh air, needed to run and explore and be a child, even if only for an hour. She was collecting pine cones now, examining each one carefully before deciding if it deserved a place in her pocket. She was so serious about it. So focused. Just like Sarah used to be. Nathan closed his eyes and let the familiar ache wash over him. 2 years. The doctors called Emma's silence selective mutism, psychological trauma so severe that her voice had simply shut down. They said it might come back someday, or it might never return. Nathan had quit his job as a high school teacher to care for her full-time. He worked night shifts as a janitor at the community center. He taught free ASL classes on weekends. It wasn't much of a life, but as long as he had Emma, it was enough. That's when he noticed movement near the maintenance building. Nathan's body went rigid. At first he thought it was an animal, a dog seeking shelter from the cold. But then he saw the flash of blue fabric, the shape of small bodies pressed together. His instinct screamed at him to move. Nathan stood slowly. He waved until Emma looked up. "Stay there," he signed. She nodded, curiosity already burning in her eyes. Nathan walked toward the maintenance area. The gate hung open, its padlock lying broken on the frozen ground. Someone had forced their way in, or someone had been left behind. He stepped through, and then he saw them. 2 children huddled behind the dumpsters. A boy and a girl, no more than 6 years old. They wore matching blue coats far too thin for December weather. Their faces were pressed together. Their bodies shook violently. Nathan's training kicked in immediately. Hypothermia, early stages, maybe worse. He rushed forward and dropped to his knees beside them. "Hey, can you hear me?" No response. He touched the girl's shoulder gently. What happened next would haunt him forever. Her eyes flew open wide, wild, filled with pure animal terror. She grabbed her brother and pulled him behind her, pressing them both against the wall. Her mouth opened and closed, but no sound came out. She was trying to communicate. Her hands moved in frantic, desperate patterns. Signs. She was using sign language. "Help us! Please! Please help us! No one understands!" Nathan felt the world tilt beneath him. She was deaf. They were both deaf. And they had been trying to ask for help for God knows how long, but no one had understood them. Rage and heartbreak collided in Nathan's chest. He raised his hands slowly, keeping them visible, non-threatening. In clear, steady American Sign Language, he signed, "Don't cry, I'm here now. You're safe." The girl froze. Her hands stopped moving. Her eyes locked onto his fingers, like she was watching a miracle unfold. "You understand me." She signed, her hands trembling so badly she could barely form the words. "Yes, I understand you. We tried to ask for help. We tried and tried." Tears streamed down her face. "But everyone walked away. Everyone. For so long." Nathan felt his heart crack open. "How long have you been here?" "Since yesterday. Maria left us here. She said she would come back. She promised." "Maria?" "Our nanny. She brought us to the park, and then she left. She never came back." Nathan's blood ran cold. A nanny had abandoned these children. In freezing temperatures, for over 16 hours. "What are your names?" "I'm Luna." She pointed to her brother, who was watching with wide, frightened eyes. "This is Leo." "Luna, Leo, those are beautiful names." Nathan kept his movements slow, his expression calm. "My name is Nathan. I'm going to help you. But first, I need to get you warm. Can I pick you up?" Luna looked at Leo. Something passed between them, that silent communication only twins understood. Then she nodded. Nathan reached out and gathered them both into his arms. They were so light, so cold. Their small bodies trembled against his chest like wounded birds. "I've got you," he signed against their backs. "I've got you now." Footsteps crunched behind him. Emma appeared at the gate, her face tight with concern. "Daddy, who are they?" Nathan turned so she could see the children. "They were lost. They need our help." Emma looked at Luna and Leo. They looked back at her. Then Emma did something that made Nathan's throat close. She took off her red scarf, her favorite scarf, the last thing her mother ever made, and wrapped it around Luna's neck. "Don't be scared," Emma signed. "My daddy is the best. He fixes everything." Luna stared at Emma's hands in disbelief. You sign too? I don't talk anymore, but I sign. Like you. Luna's eyes filled with fresh tears. But these weren't tears of fear. They were tears of recognition, of connection, of finally being seen. Leo reached out and touched Emma's hand. A small gesture. But in that moment, 3 wounded children found each other across the silence. Nathan watched something shift in his daughter's eyes. Something that looked like hope. "Come on," he said, standing with the twins in his arms. "Let's get you somewhere warm." Nathan settled the twins into the back seat of his old Honda and cranked the heat to maximum. Emma climbed in beside them, wrapping her jacket around Leo's shoulders. Nathan pulled out his phone and dialed 911. 911, what's your emergency? I found 2 children abandoned in Riverside Park. They're maybe 6 years old, twins both deaf. They've been outside since yesterday. They need medical attention immediately. Did you say deaf, sir? Yes, they communicate through sign language. We're dispatching paramedics now. Can you stay with the children? I'm not going anywhere. Do the children know their names or any contact information? Their names are Luna and Leo. They mentioned a nanny named Maria who left them here. The girl seems afraid of her father. There was a pause on the other end, a long pause. Sir, did you say Luna and Leo? Nathan frowned. Yes. Why? Another pause. Then, stay on the line. I need to transfer you. Transfer me to who? But the line was already clicking. A new voice came on deeper, more authoritative. Mr. What did you say your name was? Nathan Brooks. Mr. Brooks, this is Detective Sarah Chen with Special Victims Unit. Her voice was sharp, urgent. The children you found have been reported missing since yesterday afternoon. Their mother has been searching for them. Nathan's grip tightened on the phone. Then why were they abandoned? That's what we're trying to figure out. Where are you now? Riverside Park, South Parking Lot. Stay there. I'm sending units to your location. Detective Chen paused. Mr. Brooks, the mother, is Victoria Ashford, as in Ashford Industries. This case is extremely high profile. Media may already be involved. Nathan glanced at the back seat. Luna was showing Emma how to make a butterfly with her fingers. Leo was slowly warming up some color returning to his pale cheeks. They looked like any other children, not like heirs to a fortune. I don't care who their mother is, Nathan said. I just care that they're safe. That makes 2 of us. Sit tight. The line went dead. The paramedics arrived first. They checked Luna and Leo for hypothermia, frostbite, and other injuries. The diagnosis was better than Nathan had feared: mild exposure, no permanent damage. The children had been lucky. No, not lucky. They had been found just in time. The police came next. 2 patrol cars, then an unmarked sedan. Detective Chen turned out to be a sharp-eyed woman in her 40s with silver streaks in her black hair. She interviewed Nathan while a female officer sat with the children. Tell me exactly how you found them. Nathan explained everything. The movement near the maintenance building, the broken gate, the twins huddled together, freezing and terrified. And they communicated with you through sign language. Yes. They told me they tried to ask strangers for help, but no one understood them. Detective Chen's jaw tightened. No one stopped in 16 hours. That's what they said. Jesus Christ. She wrote something in her notebook. You know ASL. My daughter is mute. After an accident, I learned so I could talk to her. Chen looked at Emma, who was standing by Nathan's side, watching everything with alert eyes. You probably saved those kids' lives, Mr. Brooks. I just did what anyone would do. No. You did what no one else bothered to do. There's a difference. Before Nathan could respond, another car pulled up. This one was different. A sleek black Mercedes that probably cost more than Nathan's annual salary. It screeched to a halt, and before it had fully stopped, a woman threw open the door and ran toward them. Victoria Ashford. Nathan recognized her from magazine covers, from billboards advertising Ashford Industries' latest tech products. But the woman running toward him looked nothing like those polished images. Her blonde hair was tangled and wild. Her coat hung open over wrinkled clothes. Her face was streaked with tears and mascara. Luna, Leo. The patrol car door opened, and the twins tumbled out. "Mommy!" Victoria dropped to her knees on the cold pavement and caught them both. She held them so tight it looked like she was trying to absorb them into her body. "Oh God! Oh God! I thought I lost you. I thought—" Her voice shattered into sobs. "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." Luna pulled back just enough to sign. "Mommy, we were so scared. No one could understand us." Victoria's face crumpled. "I know, baby. I know." "But then he came." Luna pointed at Nathan. "He understands. He talks like us." Victoria looked up. Her eyes found Nathan, this stranger in worn jeans and a faded jacket, standing next to a quiet little girl with a red scarf missing from her neck. For a moment, she just stared. Then she rose to her feet, keeping one hand on each twin, and walked toward him. "You found them?" "Yes." "You speak sign language?" "Yes." "Why?" Nathan glanced at Emma. "Because my daughter needed me to learn." Something shifted in Victoria's expression. The suspicion gave way to something softer, something raw. "The police said they tried to ask for help, that people saw them signing but just walked away." "That's what they told me." 16 hours. Victoria's voice cracked. "My babies were alone for 16 hours, and no one stopped." "I'm sorry." "No." She shook her head fiercely. "Don't be sorry. You stopped. You listened. You saved them." She grabbed his hand suddenly, her grip surprisingly strong. "Thank you. God, thank you." Nathan didn't know what to say. He just nodded. Luna tugged at her mother's coat and signed. "Mommy, can he come with us? He's nice, and his daughter is like us." Victoria looked at Luna, then at Emma, then at Nathan. "What's your name?" "Nathan Brooks." "Nathan." She said it like she was filing it away in the most important part of her memory. "I don't know how to repay you for this." "You don't have to repay me anything." "Yes, I do. But not here. Not like this." She glanced at the police cars, at Detective Chen watching them with sharp eyes. "Things are complicated, but I want to thank you properly. Please." She pulled out her phone with shaking hands. "Put your number in, I'll call you." Nathan hesitated. This felt like more than a simple thank you. But Luna was looking at him with pleading eyes, and Leo was giving Emma a shy wave, and something in Nathan's gut told him this wasn't over. He typed in his number and handed the phone back. "I hope your kids are okay." "They will be. Because of you." Victoria turned to go, then stopped. She looked back at him one more time. "Nathan." "Yes. Thank you for seeing them. For really seeing them." She walked away, a twin on each side, and climbed into the Mercedes. Nathan watched the car disappear down the street. Emma tugged his sleeve. "Daddy." "Yes, sweetheart? Are we going to see them again?" Nathan looked down at his daughter, at the hope burning in her eyes, at the connection she had made in those few brief moments with Luna and Leo. "I don't know, Emma. I hope so." "Me too." She signed it with emphasis. "I really hope so." They drove home in silence. Nathan's mind was spinning. Victoria Ashford. Ashford Industries. A nanny who abandoned children in a park. The fear in Luna's eyes when she mentioned her father. Something was very wrong with that family, and somehow Nathan had stepped right into the middle of it. His phone buzzed as they pulled into the apartment complex. Unknown number. "Hello. Mr. Brooks. This is Victoria Ashford. I know we just met, but something has come up. Can you meet me tomorrow morning? There are things I need to tell you. Things about why my children were really abandoned." Nathan's heart rate spiked. What do you mean, really abandoned? Silence on the other end. Then, it wasn't an accident, Nathan. Someone paid our nanny to leave them there. Someone wanted my children to disappear. Nathan's blood turned to ice. Who? Victoria's voice was barely a whisper. Their father. My husband. He did this. Nathan barely slept that night. He lay in bed staring at the ceiling, Victoria's words echoing in his head. Their father did this. What kind of father abandoned his own children in the freezing cold? What kind of monster deliberately hurt innocent kids? At 6 a.m., he gave up on sleep and got up to make coffee. Emma was already at the kitchen table. Couldn't sleep, Daddy? No, you. She shook her head. I keep thinking about Luna and Leo. Nathan sat down across from her. What about them? They were so scared. Like I was scared after the accident. Emma's eyes grew distant. But I had you. They had no one. For so long they had no one. Nathan reached out and took her hand. They have their mother. She loves them very much. But their daddy doesn't. Luna's face changed when she talked about him. She was afraid. Emma looked at Nathan with those two old eyes. Why would someone be afraid of their own daddy? Nathan didn't have a good answer, so he told her the truth. Some people aren't good at being parents, sweetheart. Some people don't know how to love. That's sad. Yes, it is. Emma was quiet for a moment. Then, I'm glad you're my daddy. You're good at loving. Nathan felt his throat close. I'm glad you're my daughter. You make loving easy. She smiled that rare, precious smile, and something warm bloomed in Nathan's chest. Whatever was happening with the Ashford family, he would face it. For Emma. For Luna and Leo. For children who deserved better than fear. Oh, Nathan met Victoria at a small coffee shop downtown. She looked different than she had at the park, calmer, more composed, but with shadows under her eyes that spoke of sleepless nights. Thank you for coming, she said as he sat down. You said someone paid your nanny to abandon your children. I need to understand what's happening. Victoria took a deep breath. I'm divorcing Richard Ashford, my husband. Her voice was steady, but Nathan could see her hands trembling around her coffee cup. He's fighting me for custody of Luna and Leo. Fighting you after what happened. He didn't think it would go this far. He thought someone would find them within an hour or two. Victoria's jaw tightened. It was supposed to prove I was negligent, that I hired an incompetent nanny, that I couldn't protect my own children. Nathan stared at her in disbelief. He endangered his own children to win a custody case. You don't know Richard. He doesn't see Luna and Leo as children. He sees them as possessions, assets. Her voice cracked. He's never learned sign language, never tried to communicate with them directly. He speaks through interpreters, through aides, through anyone but himself. Why? Because he thinks they're broken. Victoria's eyes filled with tears. His exact words when they were diagnosed as deaf, I don't produce defective products. That's what he called them. Products. Nathan felt rage building in his chest. How could you marry someone like that? I didn't know, not at first. Victoria wiped her eyes quickly. Richard is brilliant at hiding who he really is. Charming in public, cold in private. By the time I saw the truth, I was trapped. You're not trapped now. No. But leaving him has been the hardest thing I've ever done. She looked at Nathan with desperate eyes. He has lawyers, resources, connections. He's already told the court I'm an unfit mother, that I'm unstable, that the children would be better off with him. That's insane. You're their mother. And he's a billionaire who donates to political campaigns and owns half the judges in this city. Victoria's voice hardened. The custody hearing is in 3 weeks. If I lose Luna, and Leo will be handed over to a man who has never once told them he loves them in a language they can understand. Nathan thought about Luna's face when she mentioned her father, the fear, the silent terror. What do you need from me? Victoria leaned forward. I need you to testify. You found my children. You saw what condition they were in. You can tell the court what really happened. I'm just a janitor. Why would anyone listen to me? Because you're a witness. An unbiased witness with no connection to either of us. Victoria grabbed his hand. Please, Nathan. You're the only person who saw the truth. You're the only person who can help me prove it. Nathan looked at this woman, this wealthy, powerful woman who had everything and nothing, who was fighting for her children with everything she had. He thought about Luna and Leo, about their silent tears, about 16 hours of terror and cold and no one stopping to help. I'll testify, he said. Victoria's eyes filled with fresh tears. Thank you. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. I have no idea what I'm getting into. Neither do I. Victoria squeezed his hand. But at least now we're in it together. The next 3 days passed in a blur. Nathan met with Victoria's lawyers. He gave a formal statement. He signed documents and answered questions, and tried to prepare himself for whatever was coming. Emma and the twins met again, this time at a community center, under less dramatic circumstances. Nathan watched them play together, communicating effortlessly in sign language, laughing silently at jokes only they understood. Luna and Leo had transformed. The terrified children from behind the dumpster were gone, replaced by 2 bright, playful 6-year-olds who couldn't get enough of their new friend. Daddy, Emma signed during a break. Can they be my brother and sister? Nathan's heart clenched. They already have a mommy and daddy. I know, but they need more family. Good family. Emma's eyes were serious. Everyone needs good family. Nathan didn't know how to respond, so he just hugged her. That night there was a knock at his apartment door. Nathan opened it to find Detective Chen standing in the hallway, her face grim. Mr. Brooks, we need to talk. What's wrong? Chen stepped inside and closed the door behind her. Richard Ashford knows about your involvement in the custody case. He's made threats. Nathan's stomach dropped. What kind of threats? The kind that would destroy your life. Chen pulled out a folder. He's hired private investigators. They've been digging into your background, your wife's accident, your daughter's condition, everything. There's nothing to find. The accident wasn't my fault. I know that. But Richard doesn't need truth. He needs doubt. Chen opened the folder. He's prepared to leak stories to the press, claims that you were somehow responsible for the accident, that your daughter's mutism is a result of your negligence, that you're an unfit father who should be investigated by child services. Nathan felt the blood drain from his face. That's all lies. Of course it is. But by the time the truth comes out, the damage is done. Your reputation is destroyed. Your job is gone. And your daughter, Chen's voice hardened. She becomes leverage. Nathan's hands were shaking, not with fear, with rage. He would use a child to get what he wants. He already did, with his own children. Chen closed the folder. I'm not telling you to back out, Mr. Brooks. I'm telling you to be careful. Richard Ashford is dangerous, and now he sees you as a threat. She left without another word. Nathan stood in his small apartment, his mind racing. Richard Ashford had declared war, and Nathan was standing directly in the line of fire. The next morning, Nathan found an envelope under his door. No stamp, no return address, just his name typed in black letters. He opened it with trembling hands. Inside was a single photograph. Emma, walking to school, taken from across the street. Nathan's blood turned to ice. He flipped the photo over. On the back, written in neat handwriting, "She's beautiful. It would be a shame if something happened to her." Nathan's vision went white. He wanted to scream. He wanted to find Richard Ashford and break every bone in his body. He wanted to burn the entire world down to protect his daughter. But he couldn't. He was a janitor. Richard was a billionaire. Nathan sank to the floor, the photograph clutched in his shaking hands. What had he gotten himself into, and how was he going to protect Emma from a monster with unlimited resources? His phone buzzed, a text from Victoria. "Nathan, something's wrong. Richard's lawyers just filed an emergency motion. They're accelerating the custody hearing. It's in 1 week. They're claiming I'm exposing the children to dangerous influences. They mean you. They have photos of us together. They're trying to paint it as an affair." Nathan stared at the screen. 1 week. He had 1 week to figure out how to stop Richard Ashford. 1 week to protect Emma. 1 week before everything fell apart. He looked at the photograph of his daughter one more time. Then he picked up his phone and dialed Detective Chen. "Chen, it's Nathan. I need your help." "What happened?" "Richard sent me a threat. A photo of my daughter with a message." Silence. Then, "I'll be there in 20 minutes. Don't touch anything else. And Nathan." "Yes. This just became personal. For both of us." She hung up. Nathan stood up slowly. His fear was fading, replaced by something harder, colder, more determined. Richard Ashford wanted a war fine. Nathan would give him one, and this time he wouldn't fight alone. The stakes have been raised. The enemy has been revealed. And Nathan Brooks' widower, janitor father, has made his choice. He will protect his daughter. He will fight for Luna and Leo. He will stand against a monster who believes money can buy anything, including children. But Richard Ashford has resources Nathan can't imagine. And the battle is just beginning. Detective Chen arrived in 18 minutes. She walked through Nathan's door without waiting for an invitation, her eyes sweeping the apartment like a hunter scanning for threats. "Show me." Nathan handed her the photograph and the envelope. Chen studied them carefully, her jaw tightening with each second. "He's escalating, faster than I expected. What do I do?" "First, we document everything." Chen pulled out her phone and took photos. "Second, we increase security around Emma. Third," she looked at Nathan with hard eyes, "we hit back before he can hit again." "How?" "Richard thinks he's untouchable because he has money, but money can't buy everything." Chen sat down at Nathan's small kitchen table. "He made a mistake when he paid Maria Santos to abandon those children. There's a paper trail. There's always a paper trail. Maria, the nanny. She's been hiding, scared out of her mind. But my people found her yesterday." Chen leaned forward. "She's willing to talk, Nathan. She's willing to testify about what Richard paid her to do." Nathan felt a spark of hope ignite in his chest. "Where is she?" "A motel outside the city. I can take you to her, but you need to understand something first." "What?" "Richard has people everywhere. The moment he finds out Maria is cooperating, he'll try to silence her, legally or otherwise." Chen's voice dropped. "This is dangerous. For all of us." Nathan thought about Emma, about the photograph, about the threat written on the back. "I don't care about dangerous. I care about stopping him." Chen studied him for a long moment. Then she nodded slowly. "Good. Let's go." They drove for 40 minutes through gray December streets. Nathan sat in the passenger seat, his mind racing. He had called Victoria before leaving, told her what was happening. She had wanted to come, but Chen had said no. Too risky, too many eyes watching. So Nathan went alone. The motel was exactly what he expected. Cheap. Anonymous. The kind of place where people went to disappear. Chen led him to room 14 and knocked 3 times. The door opened a crack. A pair of terrified eyes peered out. "Detective Chen." "It's me, Maria. I brought him. The man who found the children." The door opened wider. Maria Santos was small and thin with red-rimmed eyes and trembling hands. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. "Mr. Brooks." "Yes." "I'm so sorry." Tears spilled down her cheeks before Nathan could say anything. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know it would go that far. I didn't know they would be out there so long." I thought, tell me what happened. Maria sank onto the edge of the bed, her whole body shaking. Mr. Ashford contacted me 3 weeks ago. He offered me $50,000 to leave the children in the park. He said someone would come for them within an hour. He said it was just a test. A test. To prove Mrs. Ashford was negligent, that she hired bad help, that she couldn't protect her own children. Maria wiped her eyes with trembling hands. I needed the money. My mother is sick. The medical bills. I was desperate. Nathan felt rage building in his chest, but he kept his voice calm. What happened after you left them? I went back, 2 hours later just to check, but they were gone. Maria's voice cracked. I thought someone had found them. I thought everything was okay. Then I saw the news. Missing children. 16 hours. Hypothermia. She broke down completely. I could have killed them, those beautiful babies. I could have killed them because I needed money. Nathan watched her cry. Part of him wanted to scream at her. Part of him understood. Desperation made people do terrible things. Would you testify in court? Maria's head snapped up. Mr. Ashford would destroy me. He can't destroy you if we destroy him first. Maria stared at Nathan, at the determination in his eyes, at the steel in his voice. You really think you can stop him? I think I have to try. Maria was quiet for a long moment. Then slowly she nodded. Okay, I'll testify. I'll tell them everything. Chen stepped forward. We'll need you to sign a statement, and we'll need to move you somewhere safer. Safer? Richard has resources. Once he knows you're cooperating, he'll come for you. Chen's voice was hard. But I have resources too. We'll protect you. Maria looked between them, the detective and the janitor, who had somehow become her only allies. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you for giving me a chance to make this right. Nathan drove back to the city with Chen, his mind churning. They had Maria's testimony. They had evidence of the payment. They had a chance. But Richard Ashford wasn't going to go down without a fight. What happens now? Nathan asked. Now we build the case. We document everything. We prepare for the custody hearing. Chen glanced at him. And we watch our backs. Richard knows you're a threat now. He'll try to neutralize you. Let him try. Chen almost smiled. You've got guts, Brooks. I'll give you that. I've got a daughter to protect. That's all the guts I need. They pulled up outside Nathan's apartment building. Keep your phone on, Chen said. Day or night you call me if anything happens. Thank you, detective. Don't thank me yet. This is just beginning. Nathan got out of the car and watched her drive away. Then he looked up at his apartment window where Emma was waiting. He had made his choice. There was no going back now. Victoria called that night. Nathan, the lawyers want to meet tomorrow. They're preparing your testimony. I'll be there. There's something else. Her voice trembled. Richard's investigators are following me. I saw them outside my building this morning. Outside Luna and Leo's school this afternoon. Nathan's grip tightened on the phone. Have you told the police? Chen knows. She's assigned patrol cars to watch the house. Victoria laughed bitterly. My own home, and I need police protection from my husband. Ex-husband. Not yet. Not until the divorce is final. She paused. Nathan, I'm scared. Not for myself, for the children. If Richard gets custody, he won't. You can't know that. I know that I won't let it happen. Nathan's voice was steel. Whatever it takes, Victoria, I promise you. She was quiet for a long moment. Then softly, why are you doing this? You barely know us. You have nothing to gain and everything to lose. Nathan thought about the question. Because 2 years ago, my daughter was trapped in a burning car. She screamed for help and I couldn't reach her. The firefighters got her out just in time, but her mother was already gone. His voice cracked. I couldn't save my wife, but I saved Emma. And since then I've sworn I would never ignore a child in need. Never. Victoria was crying now. He could hear it through the phone. Nathan. Luna and Leo need someone to fight for them. Someone who sees them. Someone who speaks their language. He paused. That's me. And I'm not backing down. Victoria took a shaky breath. Okay. Then we fight together. Together. She hung up. Nathan sat in the darkness of his apartment listening to Emma's soft breathing from her bedroom. Tomorrow, the real battle would begin. The lawyer's office was on the 32nd floor of a downtown tower. Nathan felt out of place in his worn jacket and old shoes, surrounded by polished wood and expensive suits. But Victoria squeezed his hand when he arrived, and some of the tension eased. Thank you for coming. I said I would. The lead attorney was a sharp-eyed woman named Rachel Torres, no relation to the mercenary Chen had mentioned. She had silver hair and a voice like ice. Mr. Brooks, your testimony is crucial. You're the only witness who found the children. You can describe their condition, their fear, their statements about being abandoned. I remember everything. Good. Richard's lawyers will try to discredit you. They'll attack your character, your background, your relationship with Mrs. Ashford. What relationship? I just met her. Doesn't matter. They'll imply an affair. They'll suggest you're biased, that you're helping her for personal reasons. Torres leaned forward. They'll dig into your past, your wife's death, your daughter's condition. They'll try to make you look unstable. Nathan felt his jaw clench. My wife died in an accident. I wasn't driving. The police report is clear. I know. But truth doesn't always win in court. Perception does. Torres studied him. Can you handle being attacked, Mr. Brooks? Can you stay calm when they try to tear you apart? Nathan thought about Luna and Leo. About Emma. About children who deserved better than monsters for fathers. I can handle anything. Torres nodded slowly. Good. Because this is going to get ugly. 3 days before the hearing, Nathan received a package at his apartment. No return address. Heavy. Wrapped in brown paper. He opened it carefully, half expecting another threat. Inside was a box of documents. Bank records, phone logs, emails. All connected to Richard Ashford. And at the bottom, a handwritten note. He's not invincible. Here's the proof. Use it wisely. A friend. Nathan spread the documents across his kitchen table with trembling hands. Wire transfers to offshore accounts. Payments to consultants who didn't exist. Emails discussing how to handle Victoria's lawyers. And most damning of all, a receipt for $50,000 paid to Maria Santos, dated 3 weeks before Luna and Leo were abandoned. It was evidence. Real concrete evidence. Nathan called Victoria immediately. I have something. Something big. What? Evidence. Bank records, emails, everything. Someone sent them to me anonymously. Silence. Then, where did they come from? I don't know. The note just said, a friend. Richard has enemies, people he's betrayed over the years. Someone inside his organization, maybe. Victoria's voice sharpened with hope. Bring them to the lawyers, today. I'm on my way. Nathan grabbed the documents and headed for the door. He didn't notice the white van parked across the street. He didn't see the men watching him through tinted windows, and he didn't realize that everything was about to change. Nathan was leaving the community center after his night shift when they stepped out of the shadows. 2 men in expensive suits. Hard faces. Cold eyes. Mr. Brooks. Nathan stopped. His keys were in his hand, the only weapon he had. Who's asking? Mr. Ashford would like to have a conversation with you. I'm not interested. It wasn't a request. The shorter man moved closer. His hand went to his jacket, revealing the outline of something metallic. Nathan's heart pounded. He thought about Emma waiting at home. He thought about Sarah dying in flames while he couldn't reach her. Fine. Let's talk. They led him to a black car parked nearby. Inside, waiting with a glass of scotch, was Richard Ashford. He looked exactly like his photographs. Silver hair, sharp jaw, eyes like frozen steel. "Mr. Brooks, thank you for joining me." "I don't think I had a choice." "There's always a choice. Please sit." Nathan sat across from him. The car started moving. "Where are we going?" "Just around the block. Conversations go better with momentum." Richard sipped his scotch. "You've been spending time with my wife." "Ex-wife." "Not yet. The divorce isn't final. Until it is, Victoria is still legally my wife. The children are still legally my children. They're not property. No, they're my responsibility, my legacy." Richard set down his glass. "Do you know what it's like to have deaf children, Mr. Brooks? I have a daughter who can't speak." "Then you understand. The challenges, the expenses, the constant accommodation." Richard shook his head. "When Luna and Leo were born, I was told they would never hear, never speak, never be normal. Do you know how that felt?" Nathan said nothing. "It felt like failure, like I had produced something defective." Richard's voice hardened. "But I've come to accept them, in my own way." "By abandoning them in the cold," Richard's eyes flashed. "That was a miscalculation. The nanny was supposed to leave them just long enough to make Victoria look bad. I know." Nathan leaned forward. "But she got scared. She left them too long, and 2 innocent children almost died because of your ego." Richard's face went cold. "You've done your research." "I've done more than research. I have proof." Nathan watched Richard's expression carefully. Bank records, emails, the payment to Maria Santos, everything. For the first time, something flickered in Richard's eyes. Anger. "Both. Where did you get those? Doesn't matter. What matters is that I have them, and tomorrow Victoria's lawyers will have them too." Richard was silent for a long moment. Then he smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. "You're brave, Mr. Brooks. Stupid but brave. I've been called worse. Let me make you an offer." Richard's voice dropped to silk. "Walk away. Disappear from Victoria's life. Refuse to testify at the hearing. And in return, I'll leave your daughter alone." Nathan felt ice spread through his chest. "Are you threatening my daughter?" "I'm offering you a choice. Protect your child or fight a battle you can't win." Richard's eyes bored into him. "I have resources you can't imagine. Lawyers, investigators, people who make problems disappear. What do you have?" "A janitor's salary and a silent little girl." Nathan felt rage building in his chest, but he kept his voice steady. "I have something you'll never have." "And what's that?" "People who actually love me. People I'm willing to die for." Nathan met Richard's gaze without flinching. "You can threaten me all you want, but I'm not backing down. Not now. Not ever." Richard studied him for a long moment. Then he nodded slowly. "I see. You're a true believer, the worst kind of opponent." He signaled to the driver. "You have 48 hours to change your mind. After that, I make the calls. Your reputation, your job, your daughter, everything goes." The car stopped. They were back outside the community center. "Think carefully, Mr. Brooks. This is the last chance I'm offering." Nathan opened the door and stepped out. Then he turned back. "You know what the difference is between us, Richard? Enlighten me." "I have nothing left to lose. You took everything from me 2 years ago. My wife, my son, my daughter's voice. I've already been to hell." Nathan's voice was ice. "But you have everything, and I'm going to take it all away." He slammed the door. The car sped off into the night. Nathan stood alone on the cold sidewalk, his heart pounding. He had just declared war on a billionaire, and he had 48 hours to win. Nathan didn't sleep. He sat at the kitchen table staring at the evidence spread before him. The bank records, the emails, Maria's statement, enough to destroy Richard Ashford. Maybe. At 3 a.m. he made a decision. He called Detective Chen. "Brooks, Do you know what time it is? I need to talk, now. What happened? Nathan told her everything. The car, the men, Richard's threats, the 48-hour ultimatum. Chen was quiet when he finished. You recorded it. No, I didn't have time. Then it's your word against his. She sighed heavily. Richard will deny everything. His lawyers will say you're lying. I know, but that's not why I'm calling. Then why? Richard said he would make problems disappear. He talked about my daughter like she was a target. Nathan's voice hardened. I need to know if Emma is safe. I'll increase patrol presence around your building, and I'll have someone watch her school. Chen paused. But Nathan, if Richard is serious about his threats, he is. Then you need to be prepared for the worst. I am. Chen was quiet for a moment. You're not what I expected, Brooks. When I first met you, I thought you were just some guy who got lucky. Found the right kids at the right time. Her voice softened. But you're more than that, aren't you? I'm just a father trying to protect children who need protecting. That's exactly what I mean. Chen took a breath. Get some sleep. Tomorrow we prepare for war. She hung up. Nathan put down the phone and walked to Emma's bedroom door. He opened it quietly and watched her sleep. She looked so peaceful, so innocent, so unaware of the storm raging around them. I'll protect you, he whispered. Whatever it takes, I promise. Emma stirred but didn't wake. Nathan closed the door and went back to the kitchen table. Sleep could wait. His daughter's safety could not. Victoria called at dawn. Nathan Richards' lawyers filed new documents. They're claiming I've been having an affair with you. They have photographs of us at the coffee shop at the community center everywhere. That's ridiculous. We've barely touched. It doesn't matter. They're spinning a narrative. The grieving widow seducing a desperate mother. The janitor using the situation to advance himself. Victoria's voice shook with rage. They're trying to make us look like villains. What does Torres say? She says we counter with the truth, with evidence, with Maria's testimony. Victoria paused. She also says it might help if we stayed apart until after the hearing. Nathan felt something twist in his chest. Is that what you want? No. God, no. Victoria's voice cracked. You're the only person who understands. The only person who sees my children as people, not problems. The only person I trust. Then we don't stay apart. But Richard is trying to isolate you, to make you feel alone. That's how he wins. Nathan's voice was firm. We're stronger together, Victoria. We stick together, no matter what they throw at us. She was quiet for a moment, then softly. How are you so strong? I'm not. I'm terrified. Nathan looked at Emma's bedroom door. But fear doesn't get to decide what I do. Love does. Victoria took a shaky breath. Okay, we stick together. Together. Nathan, yes. After this is over, whatever happens, I want you to know something. What? You changed everything. From the moment you signed "Don't Cry, I'm Here" to my children, you changed everything. Her voice was barely a whisper. I don't know what we are. I don't know what we're becoming. But I know I don't want to lose it. Nathan felt warmth spread through his chest. You won't lose it. I promise. He hung up and looked out the window at the gray morning light. The hearing was in 3 days. The war was about to begin. The day before the hearing, something unexpected happened. Nathan was walking Emma to school when Luna and Leo appeared on the sidewalk, Victoria rushing behind them. Daddy, I mean Mr. Nathan. Luna's slip made everyone freeze. The little girl's eyes went wide with embarrassment. She started to apologize, but Nathan knelt down and took her hands. It's okay. You can call me whatever feels right. Luna looked at Victoria uncertainly. Victoria's eyes were glistening. Go ahead, sweetheart. Say what you feel. Luna turned back to Nathan. Her small hands moved carefully. I wish you were my daddy. My real daddy doesn't talk to us. He doesn't try to understand. But you do. Tears rolled down her cheeks. You always do. Leo stepped forward. Me too. I wish it too. Nathan felt his heart crack open. He gathered both twins into his arms and held them tight. Listen to me, both of you. Blood doesn't make a family. Love does. He pulled back so they could see his signs. And I love you. I love both of you. No matter what happens, that will never change. Luna sobbed against his chest. Leo's small body shook with silent tears. And Emma, wonderful, compassionate. Emma wrapped her arms around all of them, creating a circle of protection and love. Victoria stood back watching through her own tears. This broken janitor and his silent daughter had become something none of them expected. Family. That night, Nathan's phone rang. Unknown number. He answered cautiously. Hello? Mr. Brooks. A voice he didn't recognize. Deep, calm, dangerous. We haven't met. My name is David Torres. The mercenary, the one Chen had warned him about. Nathan's blood ran cold. What do you want? To give you advice, free of charge. Torres's voice was almost friendly. Tomorrow's hearing, don't go. Is that a threat? It's a warning. Richard Ashford paid me $50,000 to make sure you never testify. Torres paused. I took the money. But I've been watching you, Mr. Brooks. Watching how you treat those children. How you protect your daughter. How you fight for people you barely know. And I've decided I don't want to hurt a man like you. Torres's voice hardened. So I'm giving you this one chance. Don't go to the hearing. Take your daughter and disappear. Let this play out without you. And if I don't... Silence. Then, I'm good at my job, Mr. Brooks. Very good. I'd rather not prove it. Nathan gripped the phone tighter. Tell Richard something for me. What? Tell him I'll see him in court. He hung up before Torres could respond. His hands were shaking. His heart was pounding, but his resolve was iron. Tomorrow everything would change, one way or another. The morning of the hearing dawned cold and gray. Nathan dressed in the only suit he owned, the one he'd worn to Sarah's funeral. It felt strange on his body, tight in some places, loose in others. Emma watched him from the kitchen table. Daddy, you look nervous. I am nervous. Why? Because today I have to tell the truth in front of a lot of people, and some of those people don't want to hear it. Emma nodded slowly. But the truth is important. It's the most important thing. Emma got up and walked over to him. She reached up and straightened his tie, a gesture so much like Sarah that Nathan's eyes burned. You'll do great, Daddy. You always do the right thing. Nathan pulled her into a hug. I love you, Emma. I love you too. She pulled back and signed something he didn't expect. Go save our family. Our family. Nathan felt those words settle into his bones. I will, he promised. I will. The courthouse lobby was chaos. Cameras flashed. Reporters shouted questions. Security guards pushed people back behind velvet ropes. Nathan walked through the madness with his head down, following Detective Chen toward the elevators. Don't make eye contact. Don't answer questions. Just keep moving. Mr. Brooks. Mr. Brooks, is it true you're having an affair with Victoria Ashford? Mr. Brooks, did you really find the Ashford twins, or was it staged? Nathan, look over here. Chen pushed him into the elevator and jabbed the button. The doors closed, cutting off the noise. Well, that was fun. Nathan's hands were shaking. Does it ever get easier? No, you just get better at ignoring it. Chen looked at him. You ready for this? Does it matter? Not really. You're doing it either way. The elevator opened on the 4th floor. Victoria was waiting. She looked different today. Sharper, harder, A woman prepared for war. But when she saw Nathan, something softened in her eyes. You came. I said I would. I know. But after Torres called you. She shook her head. I wouldn't have blamed you if you'd changed your mind. My mind was never going to change. Nathan took her hand and squeezed it. Let's go end this. The courtroom was smaller than Nathan expected. Wood panels, hard benches, a judge's platform that seemed impossibly high. And on the other side of the aisle, Richard Ashford sat with his army of lawyers, looking like he owned the building. Because he probably did. Richard caught Nathan's eye and smiled. It was the smile of a predator. Confident, hungry, certain of victory. Nathan didn't look away. The judge entered. Everyone rose. This custody hearing regarding Luna Marie Ashford and Leo James Ashford is now in session. The Honorable Margaret Chen presiding. Chen. Same name as the detective. Nathan wondered if it was coincidence. The judge settled into her chair and looked at both parties. I've reviewed the preliminary documents. This case involves serious allegations from both sides. I expect civility, relevance, and truth. Any deviation will be dealt with harshly. Her eyes swept the room. Mrs. Ashford's counsel, you may begin. Rachel Torres rose from beside Victoria. Your Honor, we intend to prove that Richard Ashford is an unfit father who deliberately endangered his children's lives. We have witness testimony, financial records, and documented evidence of a calculated scheme to harm these children for personal gain. Richard's lead lawyer, a silver-haired man named Harrison Wells, stood immediately. Objection. These are inflammatory accusations with no foundation. Save your objections for the testimony, Mr. Wells. The judge's voice was ice. Proceed, Ms. Torres. Torres called her first witness. Maria Santos. The former nanny walked to the stand with trembling legs. Her eyes flickered to Richard, then away quickly. State your name and former occupation. Maria Santos. I was the nanny for Luna and Leo Ashford for 8 months. Ms. Santos. Can you tell the court what happened on December 14th of this year? Maria took a deep breath. I received a phone call from Mr. Ashford. He told me to take the children to Riverside Park. He said I should leave them near the maintenance building and drive away. A murmur rippled through the courtroom. Did he explain why? He said it was a test, a way to prove that Mrs. Ashford was negligent. Maria's voice cracked. He said someone would find them within an hour. He promised they would be safe. And did you follow these instructions? Yes. Tears streamed down Maria's face. God help me, yes. I needed the money. My mother was dying and the medical bills. How much did Mr. Ashford pay you? $50,000. The murmur became a gasp. Torres held up a document. Your Honor, I submit bank records showing a wire transfer of exactly $50,000 from an offshore account linked to Richard Ashford, dated December 1st. Wells jumped up. Those records were obtained illegally. We have no verification of their authenticity. The records were provided by an anonymous source and verified by forensic accountants. Torres replied calmly. They are authentic. The judge examined the documents. I'll allow them. Continue. Torres turned back to Maria. What happened after you left the children? I went back, 2 hours later, but they were gone. Maria broke down completely. I thought someone had found them. I didn't know they were still out there. I didn't know they almost died. How long were Luna and Leo alone before they were found? 16 hours. 16 hours. In December weather. 2 deaf children who couldn't call for help. Torres let that sink in. No further questions. Wells stood for cross-examination. Ms. Santos, isn't it true that you have significant financial problems? Yes, but... And isn't it true that you would benefit from testifying against Mr. Ashford? Perhaps a deal with Mrs. Ashford's lawyers? Maria's eyes widened. No, I'm not getting anything. I just wanted to tell the truth. The truth? Interesting. Wells smiled coldly. No further questions. Maria left the stand, still crying. Nathan felt sick. Wells had tried to make her look like a liar, a gold digger, anything to discredit her. Torres called her next witness. The people call Nathan Brooks. Nathan's heart stopped. He stood on legs that felt like water and walked to the stand. The eyes of everyone in the room followed him. Richard's smile widened. Mr. Brooks, please state your name and occupation. Nathan Brooks. I'm a janitor at the Riverside Community Center. Can you tell the court how you came to find Luna and Leo Ashford? Nathan took a breath and told his story. The park. Emma collecting pine cones. The movement near the maintenance building. The broken gate. And when you found the children, what condition were they in? They were freezing, huddled together behind a dumpster. Their lips were blue. The girl Luna was trying to communicate, but no one had understood her. Nathan's voice hardened. They'd been signing for help for 16 hours, and no one stopped. How did you communicate with them? I know American Sign Language. My daughter is mute. I learned so I could talk to her. And what did Luna say to you? Nathan looked directly at Richard. She said, help us. Please, no one understands us. She said, we tried and tried, but everyone walked away. Everyone. The courtroom was silent. Mr. Brooks, did Luna say anything about her father? Yes. Nathan kept his eyes on Richard. When I asked if she wanted to go home to her daddy, she said, I don't want to go to daddy. She was terrified of him. Richard's smile flickered. Wells was already on his feet. Objection. This is hearsay from a child. The witness is recounting his direct experience, Your Honor. Torres countered. Overruled. Continue. Torres nodded at Nathan. Thank you, Mr. Brooks. No further questions. Wells approached the stand like a shark circling prey. Mr. Brooks, you're a janitor, correct? Yes. Not a doctor, not a psychologist, not a child development expert. No. So you have no professional qualifications to assess a child's mental state. I'm a parent. I know fear when I see it. A parent. Yes. Wells smiled that cold smile. Tell me about your daughter, Mr. Brooks. Emma, is it? Nathan's blood ran cold. What about her? She's mute, you said. Stopped speaking after an accident. The same accident that killed your wife. Yes. An accident that you were involved in. Nathan felt rage building in his chest. I wasn't driving. The police report is clear. Oh, I've seen the police report. It says a drunk driver ran a red light. Wells leaned closer. But it also says you were the only adult who survived. Your wife and unborn child died. Your daughter was traumatized so severely she stopped speaking, and yet you walked away without a scratch. What are you implying? I'm not implying anything. I'm just wondering why a man who couldn't protect his own family thinks he's qualified to protect someone else's. Nathan gripped the arms of his chair so hard his knuckles turned white. Torres was on her feet. Objection. This is a personal attack with no relevance to the case. Sustained. The judge's voice was sharp. Mr. Wells, confine yourself to relevant questions, or I'll hold you in contempt. Wells backed off, but the damage was done. He'd planted doubt, made Nathan look like a failure. Nathan looked at Victoria. She was crying silently. He looked at Richard. The man was smiling again. Something snapped inside Nathan. You want to know about my family? Wells paused. Excuse me. You asked about my family. Let me tell you about them. Nathan's voice was steady now, hard. My wife Sarah was the kindest person I ever knew. She was 8 months pregnant when that drunk driver ran the red light. She died protecting our daughter. She threw herself over Emma's body and absorbed the impact. The courtroom was utterly silent. I couldn't save her. I tried. God knows I tried. But the flames were too fast, and by the time the firefighters cut through the door, his voice cracked. She was already gone. Tears rolled down Victoria's face. Even the judge looked moved. My daughter stopped speaking that night. Not because of anything I did. Because she watched her mother die. She screamed so loud that her voice broke and it never came back. Nathan looked directly at Richard. I learned sign language because I wanted to talk to my daughter. I wanted her to know she wasn't alone. I wanted her to know she was loved even in silence. He turned to the judge. That's why I stopped when I saw Luna and Leo. Because I know what it's like to be trapped in silence. To scream for help and have no one hear you. Those children were alone in the cold for 16 hours, and their own father put them there. I don't need qualifications to know that's wrong. I just need to be human. The courtroom remained silent. Wells looked uncertain for the first time. Torres rose. No further questions, Your Honor. The witness has said everything that needs to be said. Nathan stepped down from the stand. Victoria grabbed his hand as he passed. She didn't say anything. She didn't need to. The judge called a recess. In the hallway, Nathan leaned against a wall and tried to breathe. Chen appeared beside him. That was impressive. That was terrifying. Same thing sometimes. She handed him a cup of water. Wells threw everything he had at you. You didn't break. I wanted to punch him. Most people would have, but you didn't. That's what matters. Victoria emerged from the courtroom, Luna and Leo close behind. The children had been watching from a side room with a court-appointed guardian. Luna ran to Nathan and threw her arms around him. You were so brave. We saw everything on the TV screen. You watched. Leo nodded vigorously. The lady let us. She said it was important for us to see people fighting for us. Nathan crouched down to their level. How are you feeling? Luna's face grew serious. Daddy looked angry. Really angry. He doesn't like losing. Is he going to hurt us? Nathan felt his heart crack. No, sweetheart. I won't let him. I promise. Luna hugged him again, tighter this time. Over her head, Nathan saw Richard Ashford walking down the hallway with his lawyers. The man's face was a mask of controlled fury. He caught Nathan's eye and mouthed two words, "You're dead." The afternoon session was brutal. Richard himself took the stand. He was charming, sympathetic, the picture of a concerned father. I love my children more than anything in this world. The allegations against me are absurd. I would never ever endanger them. What about the payment to Maria Santos? Torres pressed. I have no knowledge of any payment. These so-called bank records are fabricated. Someone is trying to destroy me. Someone like your wife. My estranged wife has been manipulated by outside influences. Richard's eyes flickered to Nathan. People who want to profit from our family's misfortune. Are you suggesting Mr. Brooks has ulterior motives? I'm suggesting he's become inappropriately close to my wife. The photographs speak for themselves. Torres held up the photos Richard's investigators had taken. Nathan and Victoria at the coffee shop, at the community center, walking together in the park. These show two people talking, Mr. Ashford. Is conversation now evidence of an affair? Where there's smoke, there's fire. Torres turned to the judge. Your Honor, Mr. Ashford is deflecting from the evidence with baseless character attacks. The bank records are verified. Maria Santos's testimony is consistent. The children's own statements support the allegations. I've heard enough. The judge's voice cut through the room. I'm calling another recess. Both parties will return tomorrow morning for my ruling. Tomorrow. The word hit Nathan like a physical blow. One more night of uncertainty. One more night of fear. Richard smiled as he left the courtroom. Victoria grabbed Nathan's arm. What do? We wait. We pray. Nathan looked at Luna and Leo. And we don't let them out of our sight. That night, Victoria insisted they all stay at her estate. It's safer, better security. Richard can't get to us there. Nathan agreed reluctantly. He brought Emma and they settled into a guest wing with Luna and Leo nearby. The children insisted on sleeping in the same room, all three of them together. Is that okay, Daddy? Emma signed. It's okay, just for tonight. Luna and Leo each hugged Nathan before bed. "Thank you for being our friend," Luna signed. "You're more than friends. You're family." Luna's eyes filled with tears, happy tears. Leo signed something slowly, carefully. "I love you, Mr. Nathan." Nathan felt his heart overflow. "I love you too, buddy, both of you." He watched them settle into their beds, Emma in the middle, a twin on each side, and felt something he hadn't felt in years. Hope. Victoria found him in the hallway an hour later. "Can't sleep." "No, you." She shook her head. They walked together to a quiet sitting area and sat in the darkness. "What happens tomorrow? The judge makes her ruling." Victoria's voice was thin with fear. "Either I keep my children or I lose them forever." "You won't lose them." "You can't know that. I know Richard exposed himself today. I know the evidence is overwhelming. I know that judge saw through his lies." Nathan took her hand. "And I know that sometimes justice actually wins." Victoria was quiet for a long moment. "Nathan, yes. Whatever happens tomorrow, I want you to know something." "What?" She turned to face him in the darkness. "I was dead inside when I met you. Richard had spent years destroying my confidence, my self-worth, everything that made me who I was. I was a ghost in my own life. Victoria, but you changed that. From the moment you found my children, from the moment you signed, 'Don't cry, I'm here,' you gave me hope again." Her voice cracked. "You showed me that good people still exist. That kindness isn't weakness. That love doesn't have to hurt." Nathan felt something shift in his chest. Something warm and terrifying. "I feel the same way about you." "You do?" "When Sarah died, I thought I would never feel anything again. I was just existing. Going through the motions. Taking care of Emma, but not really living." He squeezed her hand. "Then I found Luna and Leo. And I found you. And suddenly there was color again. Purpose. Something worth fighting for." Victoria's eyes glistened in the darkness. "What are we doing, Nathan? This is crazy. We barely know each other." "I know everything I need to know." "Which is what?" "That you love your children with everything you have. That you're strong enough to fight a monster. That you see Emma as a person, not a problem." He paused. "And that when I'm with you, I feel like maybe the universe isn't completely cruel after all." Victoria let out a breath that was half laugh, half sob. "That's either the most romantic thing I've ever heard, or we're both losing our minds. Maybe both." She leaned forward and kissed him. It was soft and gentle and tasted like tears and hope. When they pulled apart, both were breathing hard. "Was that okay?" Victoria whispered. "That was more than okay." She smiled a real smile, bright and beautiful. "Good. Because I've wanted to do that since the first time you signed hello to my children." Nathan laughed quietly. For the first time in weeks, the future felt like something other than fear. Then his phone buzzed. Unknown number. He answered cautiously. "Mr. Brooks." David Torres's voice, cold and flat. "I warned you." Nathan's blood turned to ice. "What do you want?" "To tell you that you made a mistake. Richard is very unhappy with how today went, and when Richard is unhappy, people get hurt." "Is that a threat?" "It's a fact. Enjoy tonight, Mr. Brooks. Enjoy being with your daughter. Enjoy pretending you're safe." The line went dead. Nathan stared at the phone. Victoria saw his face. "What's wrong?" "Torres, the mercenary. He just called." "What did he say?" Nathan looked toward the room where the children were sleeping. "He said to enjoy tonight. He said to enjoy being with my daughter." Victoria's face went pale. "The security team. We need to—" "Already on it." Nathan was dialing Chen. "Detective, we have a problem. Torres just contacted me. I think Richard is planning something." Where are you? Victoria's estate. Stay there. I'm sending units. Chen's voice was sharp with urgency. Lock down everything. Don't let anyone in or out. What about tomorrow, the hearing? We'll deal with tomorrow when it comes. Right now, focus on tonight. She hung up. Nathan and Victoria spent the next hour working with the security team, checking locks, reviewing camera feeds, making sure every entrance was covered. At 2 a.m., exhaustion finally won. They fell asleep on the couch in the sitting room, still holding hands, still waiting for a threat that hadn't come. Nathan woke to screaming. Victoria's screaming. He was on his feet before he was fully conscious, running toward the sound, his heart pounding in his throat. The children's room. The door was open. Victoria stood in the doorway, her body frozen, her face a mask of horror. Nathan pushed past her and looked inside. The beds were empty. The window was open, and Luna, Leo, and Emma were gone. Nathan felt the world collapse around him. No! He ran to the window. Cold air rushed in. The security alarm that should have sounded was silent. Someone had disabled it. Victoria! Victoria! She wasn't responding. She had sunk to her knees, her hands covering her mouth. Silent screams shaking her body. Nathan grabbed his phone and dialed Chen. They're gone. The children are gone. Richard took them. What? Nathan, slow down. Luna, Leo, and Emma, they're gone. The window's open. The alarm was disabled. They're gone. Silence. Then, I'm on my way. Don't touch anything. Don't move anything. I can't just stand here. My daughter. Nathan, listen to me. Chen's voice was steel. If you go after them half-cocked, you could get someone killed. We need to do this smart. We'll find them. I promise you. Nathan wanted to scream. He wanted to tear the world apart with his bare hands. But Chen was right. Panic wouldn't save Emma. Okay, he said through gritted teeth. I'll wait. He hung up and knelt beside Victoria. We'll get them back. She looked at him with empty eyes. He has them, Nathan. He has my babies. And we're going to take them back. How? Nathan grabbed her face and forced her to look at him. Listen to me. Victoria, listen. His voice was steel wrapped in desperation. I will get them back. All three of them. I don't care what it takes. I don't care what I have to do. I will bring our children home. Victoria stared at him. Then something shifted in her eyes. The hysteria faded, replaced by cold determination. You said, our children. Nathan realized what he'd said. He didn't take it back. Yes, our children. Emma, Luna, Leo. They're ours. And no one is going to take them from us. Victoria's jaw set. Then we find them, before Richard can disappear with them forever. Chen said to wait for the police. The police don't know Richard like I do. They don't know his hiding places, his safe houses, his escape routes. Victoria grabbed Nathan's hand. But I do. I spent years married to that monster. I know things no investigator could ever find. Nathan looked at her. Then let's go. They ran. Victoria drove like a woman possessed. Nathan gripped the dashboard as they tore through empty streets, running red lights, ignoring speed limits, racing against a clock only they could hear. Where are we going? Richard has a warehouse. Industrial district. Off the books. He uses it for meetings he doesn't want recorded. Victoria's hands were white on the steering wheel. If he's planning to disappear with the children, that's where he'll go first. You're sure? I'm not sure of anything, but it's our best chance. Nathan's phone buzzed. Chen. Where the hell are you? Following a lead, Victoria knows a place Richard might have taken them. Nathan, don't do this. Wait for backup. My daughter is with a madman. I'm not waiting for anything. At least tell me where you're going. Nathan looked at Victoria. She nodded. Industrial District, Henderson Warehouse, Building 7. I'm sending units, ETA 20 minutes. We'll be there in 10. Nathan hung up. Victoria pushed the accelerator harder. They made it in 8. The warehouse loomed in the darkness, a massive structure surrounded by chain-link fencing. A single light burned in an upper window. That's the office. If Richard is here, that's where he'll be. Nathan scanned the perimeter. 2 guards at the main gate, armed. We can't go through the front. There's a service entrance, back of the building. Richard never bothered to secure it properly. They parked 2 blocks away and approached on foot. Nathan's heart pounded with every step. Emma was in there. His little girl was in there with a monster. He would burn the whole building down before he left without her. The service entrance was unlocked just as Victoria had said. They slipped inside. Darkness, silence, the smell of rust and old machinery. Victoria grabbed Nathan's arm and pointed upward. A metal staircase leading to the office level. They climbed as quietly as possible, each step an eternity of fear and anticipation. Voices drifted down from above. Richard's voice. Don't care about logistics. Have the plane ready in 1 hour. We're leaving the country tonight. Another voice. Torres. What about the extra one, the Brooks girl? Nathan's blood turned to ice. Leverage. If her father causes problems, we use her. If not... Richard's voice was casual, dismissive. She becomes a problem that disappears. Nathan felt something snap inside him. He started forward, but Victoria grabbed his arm. Wait, we need to know where the children are. She was right. Charging in blind could get them all killed. They crept closer, listening. Where are the kids now? Torres asked. Storage room, 3rd door on the left, tied up and gagged. Luna tried to fight, but... Richard laughed. Hard to fight when you can't scream for help. Nathan's vision went red. Victoria's grip on his arm tightened painfully. 3rd door, left. I heard. You get the children. I'll distract Richard. Victoria, that's insane. I know what he'll do. But those children matter more than I do. More than either of us. Her eyes burned with determination. Get them out. Whatever happens to me, get them out. Before Nathan could argue, she pushed open the office door and walked inside. Hello, Richard. Nathan heard Richard's sharp intake of breath. Victoria, how the hell did you... You always underestimated me. That was your biggest mistake. Nathan didn't wait to hear more. He ran. 3rd door, left. 3rd door, left. The corridor stretched before him, doors on both sides, each one a potential trap. He counted as he moved. 1st door, 2nd door, 3rd door. He grabbed the handle. Locked. Nathan stepped back and slammed his shoulder against the wood. Once, twice. On the 3rd hit, the door burst open. 3 small figures huddled in the corner. Emma, Luna, Leo. Their hands were bound with zip ties. Tape covered their mouths. Their eyes were wild with fear. Emma saw him first. Psh. Nathan rushed forward and ripped the tape from her mouth. Daddy? I'm here. I'm here. He pulled out his pocket knife and cut her bonds. Are you hurt? No. But Luna and Leo, they're scared, Daddy. They're so scared. Nathan freed the twins as quickly as he could. Luna threw herself into his arms the moment her hands were loose. Mr. Nathan, we knew you would come. We knew it. Of course I came. I will always come for you. Leo was crying silently, his whole body shaking. Nathan gathered all 3 children close. Listen to me. We need to get out of here. Can you run? They nodded. Then follow me. Stay close. Stay quiet. He led them back toward the service entrance, his heart pounding with every step. They were almost to the stairs when Torres stepped out of the shadows. Going somewhere, Mr. Brooks. Nathan pushed the children behind him. Torres was armed, a gun in his right hand aimed directly at Nathan's chest. I warned you. I gave you every chance to walk away. And I told you I would see Richard in court. Court is over. Richard has decided on a different kind of justice. Torres's eyes flickered to the children. Now step aside. The kids come with me. Over my dead body. Torres smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. That can be arranged. Nathan heard footsteps behind Torres. Victoria emerged from the office corridor, her lip bleeding, her dress torn. Nathan, run! Torres spun toward the sound. Nathan moved. He grabbed the nearest object, a rusted pipe lying on the ground, and swung it with everything he had. The pipe connected with Torres's arm. The gun went flying. Torres roared in pain and charged. They collided like freight trains. Nathan felt bones creak as Torres slammed him against the wall. The man was military-trained, stronger, faster, more experienced. But Nathan had something Torres didn't. He had 3 children watching who believed he could save them. Nathan headbutted Torres with everything he had. The mercenary staggered back, blood streaming from his nose. "You son of a—" Nathan hit him again, and again, and again. Torres went down hard. "Victoria, get the children out now!" Victoria rushed forward and grabbed Luna and Leo's hands. Emma hesitated. "Daddy, come with us. I'm right behind you. Go!" Emma ran. Nathan turned back to Torres, who was struggling to his feet. "Stay down." "You think this is over?" Torres spat blood on the concrete. "Richard has resources you can't imagine. You'll never be safe. None of you." "Maybe not, but I'll take my chances." Nathan brought his boot down on Torres's hand, the hand reaching for a backup weapon in his ankle holster. Torres screamed. Nathan grabbed the gun and aimed it at the mercenary's head. "Don't move. Don't breathe. Don't do anything except lie there and think about your life choices." Torres glared at him with pure hatred, but he didn't move. Nathan backed away slowly, keeping the gun trained on Torres until he reached the stairwell. Then he ran. Victoria and the children were waiting at the service entrance. "Thank God." Victoria grabbed Nathan's arm. "The police are here. I can hear sirens." "Then let's go." They burst through the door into the cold night air. Red and blue lights flashed in the distance, growing closer. They were going to make it. That's when the gunshot rang out. Nathan felt the impact before he heard the sound. It was like being hit by a sledgehammer. A punch of fire and ice that drove the air from his lungs and dropped him to his knees. He looked down. Blood. Spreading across his chest. Soaking his shirt. "Nathan!" Victoria's scream seemed to come from very far away. Nathan looked up. Richard Ashford stood in the doorway of the warehouse, a smoking gun in his hand, his face twisted with rage. "You took everything from me. Everything!" Nathan tried to respond, but no words came, only blood. He collapsed onto the cold concrete. The last thing he saw was Emma's face, tears streaming down her cheeks, her hands signing frantically. "Daddy? Daddy? Stay with me? Stay with me?" Then darkness. Victoria caught Nathan as he fell. Blood poured through her fingers, hot and terrifying and endless. She pressed her hands against the wound, trying to stop the bleeding, trying to hold his life inside his body. "Help somebody! Help!" Police cars screeched into the parking lot. Officers poured out, weapons drawn. "Drop the gun! Drop it now!" Richard stood frozen in the doorway, the gun still in his hand, staring at Nathan's fallen body like he couldn't believe what he'd done. "I said drop it!" The gun clattered to the ground. Officers swarmed Richard, forcing him face down, wrenching his arms behind his back. But Victoria didn't care about Richard anymore. All she cared about was the man bleeding out in her arms. "Nathan. Nathan, look at me. Stay awake. Stay awake." His eyes fluttered open. "Victoria." "Don't talk. Save your strength." "The children. Are they?" "They're safe. They're right here. You saved them." Nathan's lips curved into something almost like a smile. "Good. That's good. Don't you dare close your eyes. Don't Don't you dare. I'm trying. Emma appeared at Victoria's side, her face streaked with tears. Daddy. Daddy. Nathan reached out with a trembling hand and touched his daughter's cheek. Hey, sweetheart. You're going to be okay. Right. You're going to be okay. I'm going to be fine, I promise. But his voice was weak. Too weak. And the blood kept coming. Luna and Leo crouched nearby, holding each other, their faces white with terror. Mr. Nathan, please don't die, Luna signed. Please, we just found you. We can't lose you now. Nathan managed to lift his hand enough to sign back. Not dying, just resting. Tell Emma. Tell her I love her. His hand fell. His eyes closed. Nathan. The paramedics arrived and pushed Victoria aside. Ma'am, we need space. We need to work. Is he going to live? Is he going to live? We're doing everything we can. Please, step back. Victoria stumbled backward, her hands covered in Nathan's blood. Emma grabbed her and held on tight. He can't die. He can't. Victoria wrapped her arms around all three children and held them close. He won't. He's strong. He's the strongest person I've ever met. But watching the paramedics work, watching them compress and inject and call for backup, watching Nathan's motionless body, Victoria wasn't sure strength would be enough. The hospital waiting room was the longest night of Victoria's life. She sat with three traumatized children, all of them covered in Nathan's blood, all of them waiting for news that might never come. Detective Chen arrived within the hour. Richard Ashford is in custody, Torres too. They're not getting out this time. I don't care about Richard. Victoria's voice was hollow. I only care about Nathan. The doctors are doing everything they can. It's not enough. It's never enough. Chen sat down beside her. He's a fighter, Victoria. I've never seen anyone fight harder for what they believe in. What if fighting isn't enough? Then at least he went down swinging. At least he died protecting the people he loved. Victoria felt tears streaming down her face. I can't lose him. I just found him. I can't. The surgery doors opened. A doctor emerged, his face unreadable behind a mask of exhaustion. Mrs. Ashford. Victoria stood on shaking legs. Is he alive? The doctor paused. The longest pause of Victoria's life. He's alive. The bullet missed his heart by 2 inches. He lost a lot of blood, but we managed to stabilize him. Victoria's knees buckled. Chen caught her before she fell. He's going to live. He's going to need extensive recovery, physical therapy, monitoring for complications. But yes. The doctor almost smiled. He's going to live. Emma burst into tears. Luna and Leo grabbed each other, signing frantically, their faces breaking into disbelieving smiles. Victoria felt something release in her chest, a tension she hadn't known she was carrying. Can I see him? He's unconscious. Will be for several hours. But yes, you can sit with him. Victoria gathered the children and followed the doctor down endless corridors until they reached a small room filled with beeping machines and the soft hiss of oxygen. Nathan lay in the center of it all, pale, motionless, but breathing. Emma rushed to his bedside and took his hand. Daddy, can you hear me? No response. He's heavily sedated, the doctor explained. But he can probably hear you on some level. Talk to him. Let him know you're here. Emma leaned close to her father's ear. I love you, Daddy. Please wake up. We need you. Luna and Leo crowded close, signing against Nathan's arm, even though he couldn't see them. We're here, Mr. Nathan. We're not leaving. Victoria stood at the foot of the bed, watching this broken man who had become her everything. You saved them, she whispered. You saved all of us. Now you have to come back. We have too much to do, too much to live for. She pulled up a chair and settled in for the wait, However long it took, Nathan woke to the smell of flowers and the sound of children laughing. He opened his eyes slowly. The light hurt. Everything hurt. "Daddy?" Emma's face swam into focus. "Hey, sweetheart." "You're awake, Victoria, Victoria. He's awake." Footsteps. Then Victoria's face appeared beside Emma's, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Nathan, oh God, Nathan. How long was I out?" 3 days. 3 days. Nathan tried to sit up and immediately regretted it. Pain exploded through his chest. What happened to Richard? In custody. He's been charged with attempted murder, kidnapping, and about 15 other counts. Victoria took his hand. He's never getting out. Ever. Nathan felt something loosen in his chest, something that had been coiled tight for weeks. "And Torres?" "Same. The whole operation is finished." Nathan closed his eyes. "It's over. It's over. We won. We won." Victoria squeezed his hand. "You won, you crazy, stubborn, wonderful man." Nathan opened his eyes and looked at her. "I couldn't have done it without you. You took a bullet for my children. Our children." Nathan looked at Emma, then at Luna and Leo hovering in the doorway. "They're our children now. All of them." Victoria's breath caught. "You mean that?" "I mean it. I know it's fast. I know it's crazy. But almost dying puts things in perspective." Nathan reached up and touched her face. "I love you, Victoria. I love Luna and Leo, and I want us to be a family. A real family." Victoria stared at him. Then she leaned down and kissed him softly. "Is that a yes?" "That's a, you're still recovering, and we should discuss this when you're not high on morphine." She smiled through her tears. "But also, yes. 1,000 times yes." Luna and Leo rushed to the bedside. "Does this mean we're going to be a real family? Does this mean Emma is our sister?" Nathan looked at Emma. "What do you think, sweetheart? You okay with getting a brother and sister?" Emma's eyes filled with tears. Happy tears. "I've wanted a brother and sister forever." She climbed carefully onto the bed and hugged Nathan's good side. Luna and Leo followed, creating a pile of children and love and hope around Nathan's broken body. Victoria stood back and watched, crying silently. This man, this impossible, wonderful man. He had come into their lives like a hurricane and rebuilt everything that was broken. "I love you," she whispered. "All of you." Nathan smiled. "That's good, because you're stuck with us now." The recovery was long and difficult. Nathan spent 2 weeks in the hospital, then another month doing physical therapy. The bullet had damaged muscle and tissue. Walking hurt. Breathing hurt. Sometimes just existing hurt. But he did it anyway. Because he had reasons to heal now. 4 of them to be exact. Victoria stayed by his side through everything. She hired private nurses. She arranged the best therapists. She made sure he had everything he needed. "You don't have to do all this," Nathan protested. "Yes, I do. You saved my children. You almost died for us. The least I can do is make sure you heal properly. I'm not comfortable with you spending money on me. Get comfortable." Victoria's eyes flashed with determination. "You're part of this family now. That means what's mine is yours." "Victoria. Don't Victoria me. Just shut up and let me take care of you for once." Nathan wanted to argue, but the truth was, it felt nice to be taken care of. It felt nice to not be alone. It felt nice to have a family again. Emma flourished during Nathan's recovery. Having Luna and Leo around had transformed her. She was more confident, more playful, more happy. "Daddy, watch this." She would sign, and then she and the twins would perform elaborate games involving invented sign language and made-up stories, and enough imagination to fill an ocean. Nathan watched from his bed, his heart swelling with joy. This was what he had fought for. This moment, these children, this family, worth every scar, worth every bullet, worth everything. One afternoon, Chen came to visit. "Looking better, Brooks." Feeling better. Mostly. Good. Because I have news. Chen pulled up a chair. Richard's plea hearing was yesterday. He tried to negotiate, wanted a reduced sentence in exchange for testimony against some of his business partners. And the judge told him to pound sand. Chen almost smiled. He's been sentenced to 45 years, no parole. Torres got 20. Nathan felt a weight lift from his shoulders. So it's really over. It's really over. Victoria has full custody of Luna and Leo. The divorce is finalized. Richard Ashford is going to die in prison. Chen stood up. You did good, Brooks. Better than good. You saved those kids. We all did. No, it was you. From the moment you signed, "Don't cry, I'm here," to those children, it was you. Chen extended her hand. It's been an honor, Nathan. Nathan shook it. Thank you. For everything. Chen nodded and walked out. Nathan sat alone for a moment, processing everything that had happened. Then Victoria appeared in the doorway. Good news. The best. Richard is going away forever. Victoria's face crumpled with relief. She crossed the room and collapsed into his arms, careful of his healing wound. It's really over. I can't believe it's really over. Believe it. He can't hurt them anymore. He can't hurt any of us. Nathan held her close. No, he can't. They stayed like that for a long time. Two broken people healing together. Finding something none of them expected. Love. 3 months after the shooting, Nathan was well enough to move around without assistance. Victoria had insisted he and Emma move into her estate at least until he was fully recovered. Nathan had resisted at first, uncomfortable with the wealth and the size and the overwhelming generosity, but the children had made the decision for him. Please, Daddy, Emma had signed. I want to stay with Luna and Leo. I want to be close to my family. How could he say no to that? So they moved in. Temporarily, Nathan told himself, just until he was back on his feet. But weeks turned into months, and temporary started to feel very permanent. Victoria found him one evening standing on the balcony looking out at nothing. What are you thinking about? Everything. How much has changed? How different my life is now. Good different or bad different? Nathan turned to face her. I used to be a janitor who woke up every night screaming his dead wife's name. I had nothing except a silent daughter and a mountain of grief. He paused. Now I have 3 children who call me family. A woman who loves me. A purpose that feels bigger than myself. Victoria stepped closer. Is that what I am? A woman who loves you? Aren't you? I was hoping I might be something more. Nathan's heart skipped. What do you mean? Victoria took a deep breath. I've been thinking. About us. About what happens next. About what kind of life we want to build together. And I want it to be official. Not just for us, for the children. They deserve stability. They deserve to know that this family is permanent. Nathan stared at her. Victoria, are you asking me to? I'm asking you to marry me. Victoria's voice shook, but her eyes were steady. I know it's fast. I know it's unconventional. But I don't care. I love you. The children love you. And I don't want to spend another day pretending this isn't exactly what we all need. Nathan felt tears burning in his eyes. You're proposing to me. Is that a problem? No, it's just, I always thought I would be the one to... To what? Ask Nathan. You took a bullet for my children. You literally bled for this family. I think I can handle asking a simple question. Nathan laughed. A real laugh from somewhere deep in his chest. When you put it that way. So, what's your answer? Nathan took her face in his hands. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Victoria's face broke into the brightest smile he had ever seen. Really? Really, I love you. I love Luna and Leo. I want to be their father. I want to build a life with you. He kissed her softly. I want everything. Victoria wrapped her arms around him and held on tight. Then you'll have it. All of it. Forever. They stood together as the sun set, two people who had found each other against impossible odds. Behind them, three children watched through the window. Are they hugging again? Luna signed. They're always hugging, Leo replied. Emma smiled. That's because they're in love. That's what people in love do. Are we going to be a real family now? Emma looked at her future siblings. We already are. Luna and Leo grinned. And for the first time in a very long time, all five of them believed that the future was something to look forward to. The wedding was set for spring. Victoria had wanted something small, intimate, just family and close friends. But the moment the news leaked, the media descended like vultures. Former Ashford wife to marry hero janitor who saved her children. Nathan hated the headlines. He wasn't a hero. He was just a father who had done what any father would do. But the children loved the attention. Daddy, look! Luna signed excitedly, showing him a magazine cover. You're famous. I don't want to be famous. Too late. Everyone knows about you now. Nathan sighed. This was his life now. The man who took a bullet. The janitor who became a legend. He would rather just be dad. Victoria found him hiding in the study one afternoon, avoiding yet another interview request. You know, most people would kill for this kind of publicity. I'm not most people. No, you're not. She sat down beside him. That's why I love you. Nathan looked at her. This woman who had become his everything. This woman who had proposed to him on a balcony while the sun set behind them. I just want our wedding to be about us. About our family. Not about headlines and magazine covers. Then that's what it will be. Victoria took his hand. I'll cancel the interviews. We'll do this our way. You can do that. I'm Victoria Ashford. I can do anything. She smiled. Except cook. You're in charge of dinner forever. Nathan laughed. It felt good to laugh. After everything they had been through, laughter felt like medicine. Deal. The wedding preparations brought the whole family together. Emma insisted on helping choose flowers. Luna wanted to design the invitations. Leo was determined to learn how to tie a bow tie, even though his small fingers struggled with the fabric. Like this, he signed to Nathan, holding up a mangled knot. Almost. Try again. It's too hard. Nothing worth doing is easy, buddy. Keep trying. Leo scrunched up his face in concentration and tried again. This time, the bow actually looked like a bow. I did it. I did it. Nathan pulled him into a hug. I knew you could. Luna appeared with her invitation designs, elaborate drawings covered in flowers and hearts and stick figures that were clearly meant to represent the family. What do you think? Nathan studied the drawings carefully. I think they're perfect. Luna beamed. Really? Really? We're using these. Every single one. But they're not professional. They're better than professional. They're from you. Nathan crouched down to her level. Luna, this wedding isn't about being fancy or impressive. It's about family. And your drawings are the most family thing I've ever seen. Luna's eyes filled with happy tears. She threw her arms around Nathan's neck. I love you, Daddy. Nathan's heart stopped. It was the first time she had called him that without hesitation, without the Mr. Nathan safety net. Just, Daddy. I love you too, sweetheart. So much. Victoria watched from the doorway, tears streaming down her face. This man, this impossible, wonderful man. He had given her children something Richard never could, a father who loved them exactly as they were. 2 weeks before the wedding, Emma did something unexpected. She asked to visit Sarah's grave. Nathan was surprised. Emma rarely talked about her mother. The memories were too painful, too tangled up with the night of the accident. Are you sure? Emma nodded firmly. I need to tell her something. They drove to the cemetery together, just the two of them. Nathan hadn't been here in months. The guilt of moving on, of finding happiness again, had kept him away. But standing at Sarah's headstone with Emma beside him, he felt something release. "Hey, Sarah," he whispered. "It's been a while." Emma knelt and placed flowers on the grave, wildflowers she had picked herself. Then she started signing. "Hi, Mommy. I know you can see me. I know you're watching from heaven." Her hands moved slowly, deliberately. "I wanted to tell you that Daddy is happy again. He found someone who loves him. And I have a new family now, a brother and a sister." Nathan felt tears running down his face. "I was scared at first. Scared that if I loved Victoria, I would forget you. Scared that if Luna and Leo became my siblings, it would mean you and baby brother didn't matter anymore." Emma's hands trembled. "But Daddy told me something important. He said love doesn't divide, it multiplies. The more people you love, the more love you have." She looked up at Nathan. He was right. "I love Victoria. I love Luna and Leo. And I love you, Mommy, all at the same time. It doesn't hurt anymore. It just fills me up." Nathan knelt beside his daughter. "She's right, Sarah. I found love again. I never thought I would. I never thought I could." His voice cracked. "But I did. And I know you would be happy for me. Because you always wanted me to live. You always wanted Emma to have a full, beautiful life." He placed his hand on the headstone. "Thank you for loving me. Thank you for giving me Emma. Thank you for showing me what a family could be." He paused. "I'll never forget you. But I'm ready to move forward now. I'm ready to live again." Emma leaned against his shoulder. "Mommy is smiling, Daddy. I can feel it." Nathan wrapped his arm around her. "I can feel it too." They stayed at the grave for a long time, saying goodbye and hello at the same time. When they finally walked back to the car, Nathan felt lighter than he had in years. The past wasn't a prison anymore. It was a foundation, something to build on, not be buried by. The night before the wedding, Victoria found Nathan on the porch. Cold feet, warm feet, very warm feet. He smiled, just thinking. About what? About how different my life was a year ago. I was a janitor who woke up screaming every night. I had nothing but grief and a silent daughter. He looked at her. Now I'm about to marry a woman I love with 3 children who call me Dad, and a future that actually feels worth living. Victoria sat down beside him. Are you scared? Terrified. Of what? Of losing it. Of waking up and finding out it was all a dream. Of something happening to take this away from me. Nathan's voice cracked. I've lost so much, Victoria. I don't know if I could survive losing more. Victoria took his face in her hands. Listen to me. You're not going to lose us, not ever. This family, you, me, Emma, Luna, Leo, we're permanent. We're forever. Her eyes burned with intensity. You fought for us. You bled for us. You almost died for us. And now we're going to spend the rest of our lives making sure you never regret it. Nathan stared at her. How are you so strong? I'm not. I'm terrified too. Victoria smiled through her tears. But I'm more excited than scared. I'm more hopeful than afraid. And that's because of you. Me. You showed me what real love looks like, Nathan. You showed me that strength isn't about power or money. It's about showing up. It's about fighting for the people you love. It's about signing, "Don't cry, I'm here," to 2 frightened children you'd never met. She kissed him softly. That's who you are. And I'm so lucky to be marrying you. Nathan felt tears burning in his eyes. I love you. I love you too. Victoria stood up. Now get some sleep. Tomorrow is going to be a very long day. Yes, ma'am. She laughed and went inside. Nathan stayed on the porch a few minutes longer, looking up at the stars. Somewhere out there, Sarah was watching. And he absolutely knew, that she was smiling. The wedding morning arrived with chaos. Luna couldn't find her shoes. Leo had spilled juice on his bow tie. Emma was nervous about walking down the aisle. "What if I trip?" she signed frantically. "Then you get up and keep walking," Nathan replied. "That's what we do in this family. We fall, and we get up, and we keep going." Emma took a deep breath. "Okay, I can do this." "You can do anything." Victoria's mother arrived to help wrangle the children, her eyes suspiciously wet. "You're really doing this?" "I really am." "He's not what I expected. A janitor, a widower, a man with nothing to his name." Nathan felt his shoulders tense. "But he's exactly what you need." Victoria's mother surprised him with a smile. "He's kind. He's brave. He loves those children like they're his own blood." She placed a hand on Nathan's arm. "Welcome to the family, such as it is." Nathan blinked. "Thank you." "Don't thank me. Just take care of my daughter and my grandchildren, all three of them." "I will, I promise." She nodded and swept away to deal with Luna's shoe emergency. Nathan stood alone for a moment, overwhelmed. This was really happening. He was getting married. Again. And this time he wasn't afraid of the future. He was running toward it. Detective Chen arrived just before the ceremony. "Didn't think I'd miss this, did you?" Nathan grinned. "I wasn't sure you did weddings." "I don't, but I make exceptions for people who take bullets and live to tell about it." Chen handed him a small box. "Wedding gift." Nathan opened it. Inside was a photograph Luna and Leo at the park the day Nathan found them. Someone had captured the moment right after Nathan signed, "You're safe now." The twins were staring at him with raw, desperate hope in their eyes. "Where did you get this?" "Security camera footage. I had it enhanced and printed." Chen shrugged. "Thought you might want to remember where it all started." Nathan felt tears threatening. I don't know what to say." "Say thank you, and go get married before I change my mind about being nice." Nathan laughed and hugged her. "Thank you. For everything." "Get out of here, Brooks. You've got a wedding to attend." The ceremony was perfect. Not perfect in the magazine way Luna giggled at the wrong moment. Leo dropped the ring, and Emma cried so hard she could barely sign her part of the vows. But it was perfect in the way that mattered. Real, honest, full of love. Nathan stood at the altar and watched Victoria walk toward him, radiant in white tears already streaming down her face. "Hi," she whispered when she reached him. "Hi yourself." "Nervous?" "Nope, not anymore." The officiant spoke about love, about commitment, about finding family in unexpected places. Then it was time for vows. Victoria went first. "Nathan, a year ago, I was trapped in a nightmare. I was married to a monster who saw our children as possessions. I was alone, scared, and convinced I would never escape." Her voice shook. "Then you appeared. A janitor in a worn jacket who dropped to his knees behind a dumpster and signed, 'Don't cry, I'm here,' to my frightened children." She wiped her tears. "You saved Luna and Leo. But you saved me too. You showed me that love doesn't have to hurt. That family isn't about blood or money. That the right person can appear when you least expect them and change everything." She took his hands. "I promise to love you, to support you, to stand beside you through whatever comes. I promise to be a mother to Emma, just as you've been a father to my children. I promise to build a life with you, a real life full of laughter and chaos, and more love than either of us ever dreamed possible." Nathan felt tears running freely down his face. "I didn't write anything down," he admitted. "I'm not good with words, but I'll try." Victoria smiled. "Just speak from your heart." Nathan took a breath. "When Sarah died, I thought my life was over. I thought the universe had taken everything and left me with nothing but pain. I went through the motions, working, caring for Emma, existing, but I wasn't really living." His voice cracked. "Then I found 2 children shivering behind a dumpster. and something woke up inside me. Something I thought had died with my wife. He looked at Luna and Leo sitting in the front row with Emma between them. I didn't just find your children that day, Victoria. I found purpose. I found hope. I found a reason to believe that maybe, just maybe, the universe wasn't done with me yet. He turned back to Victoria. I promise to love you with everything I have. I promise to protect our children, all of them, with my life. I promise to wake up every day grateful that you saw something in a broken janitor worth loving. He paused. And I promise that no matter what happens, no matter what challenges we face, I will never stop fighting for this family. Because you, all of you, are worth fighting for. The officiant smiled. By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. Nathan pulled Victoria into his arms and kissed her. The small crowd erupted in cheers. Luna and Leo rushed the altar, throwing themselves at Nathan and Victoria. Emma followed a moment later, completing the family hug. 5 people, 1 family, infinite love. The reception was everything Nathan never knew he wanted. Dancing, laughter, speeches that made everyone cry. Chen gave a toast about justice and love and finding goodness in unexpected places. Victoria's mother spoke about second chances and the courage to start over. And then Emma stood up. Nathan's heart lurched. Emma didn't speak. She hadn't spoken in over 2 years. But she wasn't speaking. She was signing. I want to say something about my dad. The room fell silent. 3 years ago, my mom died. I was in the car with her. I watched it happen. Emma's hands moved slowly, carefully. After that, I couldn't talk anymore. The words just disappeared. I thought they were gone forever. She looked at Nathan. But my dad didn't give up on me. He learned a whole new language just so we could talk. He sat with me every night. He told me I wasn't broken. He told me I was special. Her hands trembled. He made me believe that silence wasn't a prison. It was just a different way of speaking. Luna and Leo watched with wide eyes. Then he found Luna and Leo. And suddenly I wasn't alone anymore. I had a brother and sister who understood, who spoke my language, who made me feel normal for the first time since the accident. Emma walked to where Nathan was sitting. Daddy, you gave me everything. A family. A home. A reason to believe that good things could happen again. Her hands slowed. And now I want to give you something back. Nathan's breath caught. What? Emma took a deep breath. Then she opened her mouth and spoke. I love you, Daddy. The room gasped. Nathan felt his heart stop. Emma, you... The doctors said I might never talk again, but I've been practicing, in secret, for months. Emma's voice was rough, barely above a whisper, but it was the most beautiful sound Nathan had ever heard. I wanted to surprise you. I wanted you to hear me say it on your wedding day. Nathan was crying now, sobbing openly. Say it again. I love you. Again. I love you, Daddy. He pulled her into his arms and held on like he would never let go. Victoria was crying. Luna and Leo were crying. The entire room was crying. My baby girl, Nathan whispered. My beautiful, brave baby girl. I'm not done. Emma pulled back and looked at Victoria. Mom. Victoria's hand flew to her mouth. Yes, sweetheart. Emma's voice cracked, but she kept going. Thank you for loving my daddy. Thank you for giving me a family. She looked at Luna and Leo. Thank you for my brother and sister. Victoria rushed forward and gathered Emma into her arms. Oh, sweetheart. I love you too. So much. Luna and Leo joined the hug, and suddenly it was 5 people tangled together, crying and laughing and holding on. Nathan looked at his family, his wife, his 3 children, his new beginning. This was worth everything, every scar, every bullet, every moment of fear and pain and uncertainty. This was home. The first year of marriage was chaos. Beautiful, wonderful, exhausting chaos. Nathan officially adopted Luna and Leo. Victoria officially adopted Emma. Papers were signed. Courts were visited. A family that had been forged in fire was made legal in ink. "Does this mean you're really our daddy now?" Leo asked after the final hearing. "I've always been your daddy, buddy. This just makes it official. Forever. Forever and ever." Leo hugged him so tight it hurt. Luna was next. "I used to dream about having a real father, one who talked to us, one who learned our language, one who actually saw us." She pulled back and looked at Nathan with shining eyes. "You're better than any dream." Nathan felt his heart overflow. "And you're better than any daughter I could have imagined." Emma watched from the side, grinning. Her voice was getting stronger every day. The speech therapist said she was making remarkable progress. She still signed more than she spoke, but the words were coming back one at a time. "Daddy," she said, testing the word with her restored voice. "Yes, sweetheart. We did it. We're really a family now." Nathan looked around at his wife, his children, his new life. "Yeah, we really are." Victoria came to stand beside him. "How does it feel?" Being officially a dad to 3 kids. Terrifying. Overwhelming. Absolutely perfect. She laughed and kissed his cheek. "Get used to it. This is forever. I'm counting on it." 2 years after the wedding, Nathan had an idea. Victoria found him in the study, surrounded by blueprints and budgets and building plans. "What are you doing?" "I want to start a foundation." "A foundation?" "For deaf children. For families who need support. For kids like Luna and Leo who deserve to be seen and heard even if they can't speak." Nathan looked up at her. "I want to build a community center. A place where deaf children can learn, play, connect with each other. A place where parents can learn sign language. A place where no child ever has to feel alone." Victoria stared at him. "Nathan, that would cost millions." "I know. That's why I'm asking my very wealthy wife for help." He smiled nervously. "What do you think?" Victoria was quiet for a long moment. Then she sat down beside him and took his hand. "I think it's the best idea you've ever had." "Really?" "Really. Let's do it. Let's build something that matters. Something that helps other families the way we found each other." Her eyes glistened. "Let's make sure no child ever spends 16 hours in the cold, signing for help that never comes." Nathan felt tears threatening. "I love you." "I love you too." Victoria looked at the plans. "Now tell me everything. Where do we start?" They talked until midnight, and by the time they finally went to bed, the Brooks Ashford Foundation was born. The grand opening of the Brooks Ashford Community Center happened on a sunny spring morning, exactly 3 years after Nathan found Luna and Leo behind that dumpster. The building was beautiful, bright and welcoming, filled with classrooms and play areas and spaces designed specifically for deaf children and their families. News crews came. Politicians gave speeches. Donations poured in. But the moment Nathan would remember forever was simpler than all of that. Luna, Leo, and Emma stood together at the entrance, holding an oversized ribbon. "Ready?" Nathan asked. "Ready." They signed in unison. They cut the ribbon together, and the doors opened. Families streamed inside, deaf children, hearing children parents eager to learn sign language. The building filled with the beautiful noise of hands moving hearts, connecting voices, finding expression in whatever form they chose. Nathan watched it all with tears in his eyes. 3 years ago, he had been a broken man, a widower, a janitor barely surviving. Now he was a husband, a father, a leader, a bridge between 2 worlds. And it had all started with a simple sign. "Don't cry, I'm here." That night, the family gathered around the dinner table. It had become their ritual. Every Sunday, no matter how busy the week, they ate together and shared stories. "Who wants to start?" Victoria asked. Leo raised his hand. "Me, I learned a new word today. What word? Leo signed it carefully. Extraordinary. That's a big word. Do you know what it means? Leo nodded seriously. It means better than ordinary. Special. And why did you learn that word? Leo pointed at everyone around the table. Because that's what we are. Extraordinary. Nathan felt his heart swell. You're right, buddy. We are. Emma went next, sharing a story about her debate team victory. She was speaking publicly now, something that would have been unthinkable 3 years ago. Then Luna, who had been selected to perform a signed song at a school assembly. Victoria talked about the center's first week and the families they were already helping. Nathan shared updates about the ASL curriculum they were developing. Around and around the table, voices and hands and hearts intertwined. This was what Sarah had wanted, Nathan realized. Not just for him and Emma, but for every family struggling to communicate, to connect, to survive. She hadn't lived to see it, but her dream was finally real. After dinner, Nathan found a quiet moment alone. Emma came to sit beside him. You okay, Daddy? More than okay. You were thinking about Mommy, weren't you? Nathan nodded. I think about her every day. Me too. Emma leaned against him. I don't remember her voice anymore, but I remember how she made me feel. How did she make you feel? Safe, loved, like I could do anything. Emma smiled. That's how you make me feel now, and Victoria, and Luna, and Leo. Nathan put his arm around her. Your mom would be so proud of you, Emma, the person you've become, the sister you are to Luna and Leo. You think so? I know so. They sat together in comfortable silence. Then Emma signed something that made Nathan's heart overflow. Daddy? Yes, sweetheart. Remember when you found Luna and Leo? Remember what you signed to them. Don't cry, I'm here. That's what you've been saying to all of us, every day, even when you don't sign it. Emma looked at him with those wise, beautiful eyes. You show up, you stay, you never leave. That's what I'm here really means. Nathan felt tears sliding down his face. When did you get so smart? I learned from my dad. He pulled her into a hug and held on. Victoria appeared in the doorway, Luna and Leo beside her. Everything okay? Nathan looked at his wife, at his children, at the family he had built from broken pieces. Everything is perfect. Luna ran to join the hug. Then Leo. Then Victoria. 5 people, 1 family. Bound not by blood, but by something stronger. Love. Nathan held them all and let the tears fall. He had spent years believing that his life ended the night Sarah died, that he was just marking time until his own end came. But he had been wrong. His life hadn't ended that night. It had been waiting. Waiting for 2 deaf children shivering behind a dumpster. Waiting for a mother brave enough to fight a monster. Waiting for 3 children who needed a father who would show up. Waiting for a second chance at happiness. And now that chance was here. Real. Permanent. Forever. Luna pulled back and looked at Nathan with shining eyes. Daddy. Yes, sweetheart. Is this our happy ending? Nathan looked at Victoria. At Emma. At Leo. At the family they had built from ashes and hope. No, he said. This isn't our happy ending. Luna's face fell. It's not. Nathan smiled and pulled her close. This is our happy beginning. Luna grinned. Leo signed. What's the difference? Endings are final. Beginnings are full of possibilities. Nathan looked at each of them. And we have so many possibilities ahead of us. Victoria took his hand. Together. Together. Always. They stood there, 5 people who had found each other against impossible odds. A janitor who learned to love again. A mother who learned to fight again. 3 children who learned to trust again. They had survived the darkness. They had found each other. They had built something beautiful from brokenness. And in the end, the greatest voice wasn't spoken at all. It was love. Pure, simple, unshakable. Love that showed up. Love that stayed. Love that signed into the silence. Don't cry. I'm here now. You're safe. Some stories end with happily ever after. This one ends with something better. A family, a purpose, a beginning. And Nathan Brooks' janitor, widower husband, father hero, finally understood what he had been searching for all along. Not an ending, not an escape, but a reason to keep going, a reason to keep loving, a reason to keep signing into the darkness, I'm here. Because that's what family means. Not perfection, not permanence, just presence. Showing up, staying, loving, every single day. Until the very last moment, and beyond. In a world that refused to listen, one man chose to hear. In a silence that screamed for help, one simple sign changed everything. And in the end, love didn't need a voice to speak. It just needed a heart willing to show up. A pair of hands willing to reach out. And the courage to say in whatever language necessary, I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere. That's not just a story. That's a promise. And Nathan Brooks kept his promises. Always.